Charlie, Darus here from Troubleshooting. Using Kali Linux for pen testing but worried about your own security? Today, we're diving into configuring basic security settings in Kali Linux to keep your system safe, which is very perfect for beginners. So let's go ahead and keep it fun, let's keep it clear and super secure. Hit that bell icon and subscribe to Troubleshooting channel to stay updated in all things regarding tech. Now here's what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be talking about why you should secure your Kali Linux and what are the potential risks of not securing your Kali Linux. Then we'll also talk about changing default credentials for maximum safety, and we'll move on to setting up a non-root user with sudo privileges. Then we'll follow it up with configuring basic firewalls using UFW, and I'm going to tell you what UFW is, and then we'll wrap everything up with updating the system and also some troubleshooting tips. So let's get started. Kali Linux is a Debian-based distro designed for penetration testing and ethical hacking. It is loaded with over 600 tools like Metasploit and Nmap, but its default settings like weak passwords and open configurations makes it vulnerable, especially since it is open source and widely used. So if you are testing networks or browsing online, an unsecured Kali Linux system could be exploited, ironically for a hacking tool. So securing Kali Linux protects your data, prevents unauthorized access, and ensures you are the hacker, not the one getting hacked. So we'll cover simple steps to harden your system using Kali Linux built-in tools focused on credentials, user accounts, and firewalls. So let's make Kali Linux a fortress. Now, Kali Linux default credentials are a major security risk, especially in older versions. If you're using Kali Linux before 2020, then that means that you are probably using a default root user and a default password. The default root user was Kali and then the default password was Tor. So if you're using any version of Kali Linux before 2020, we recommend you change the user and the password. Now, Kali's pre-built images come with default SSH tools, which are insecure since they are identical across installations. So to generate a new key, first back the old ones. To do this, simply type in this . And when you are done, we're not going to go ahead and generate new key. So we are going to generate a new key by simply typing in this . This creates a unique SSH key in the EDC SSH folder. So to apply this, you go ahead by restarting the SSH service. You could restart the SSH service by typing in sudo systemctl restart SSH. So verify it with ls etc ssh and hit enter. You should see new SSH host, which goes ahead to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks. Running Kali as a root user since 2021 or even by the default Kali user can expose you to sensitive data leaks. So creating a non-root user with sudo privileges adds a security layer. Now let's go ahead and add the user to the sudo group for admin privileges. To do this, simply type in sudo usermod space -g sudo, then add the name of the user you just created. Now let's go ahead and understand what these flags mean. So the hyphen lowercase a and then the hyphen uppercase g sudo flags add the user to the sudo group. Now let's go ahead and verify by typing in groups space, then we'll put in the name of the user you just created. You should see sudo in the output, so I advise you to log out and then log in with the same user you just created right now. So as a new user, let's go ahead and test some sudo privileges. So we'll type in sudo who am I, and then we hit enter. Then it should return root, confirming that sudo actually worked. So from now on, use this non-root user for daily tasks and preparing sudo for admin commands to reduce potential risks. Now let's move on to the next one. So Kali doesn't enable a firewall by default, so let's set up a UFW UFW Firewall. UFW simply means Uncomplicated Firewall. This will help us to control network traffic that goes in and out of our system. So UFW is pre-installed in Kali, but let's ensure it is really there and it is ready to work. To do this, simply type in sudo apt update to update our package list. Then we're going to go ahead and try reinstalling it. Sudo apt install UFW space -y. Now when that is done, let's go ahead and set default policies to deny incoming and also allow outgoing traffic. We do this by typing in sudo UFW default deny incoming. Then you hit enter and then you try again with a different command, but for this command we go with sudo UFW default allow outgoing. Now this blocks unsolicited connections while allowing our system to access the internet. Alright, so if you use SSH, that is port 22 for remote access, you have to go ahead and allow that one too. So to do this, simply type in sudo UFW allow SSH, or you could also specify the specific port. You could do this by typing in sudo UFW allow 22-TCP. We all know that SSH runs on port 22, so that's the reason why I keep saying the 22, but it tells us it's basically the same thing. So for other services, you could allow connections for other services. For instance, let's say we wanted to allow connections for HTTP, which runs on port 80. You could simply do this by typing in sudo UFW allow 80/TCP, and then when we are done with the number of services we want to allow to pass through our firewall, we can go ahead and then enable the firewall. To enable the firewall, all we have to do is type in sudo UFW enable, and then we have to confirm if it is actually enabled. To confirm this, we type in sudo UFW status. If you see this, it means that it confirms that SSH is actually allowed. So this goes a long way to enhance your network security. So overall, keeping Kali Linux updated patches most vulnerabilities, which is crucial for a secure system. And as of now, I know every single person knows how to update a Kali Linux. If you don't, simply type in sudo apt update. This goes ahead to refresh the package list. However, if you want major updates, you could use sudo apt dist-upgrade -y. So Kali's rolling release ensures that you get the latest tools and security fixes. So I advise you to run these commands weekly because most of the patches are rolled weekly. Now let's move on to some troubleshooting tips. Password change fails. With password errors, ensure you are logged in as the correct user. I remember sometimes you mixed the password for different users. So to confirm the user, type in who am I to check which user you are. For roots, run sudo passwd roots. So if you are facing ssh-key issues after changing your keys, verify the service is running. So to verify this, if the service is running, type in sudo systemctl status ssh, and you can restore the old key from the etc ssh folder if needed. So I think I'm going to make a separate video on restoring SSH keys. So subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. If UFW blocks needed services, because once you enable UFW, it blocks a lot of services. If you lose access to, let's say, SSH, we could always disable UFW temporarily. So sudo UFW disable, and then you are back to new. But if you want UFW always on, then you have to reconfigure the rules. Now, if sudo commands fails for just the user you just created, ensure that the user you just created is actually added to the root group. So avoid running roots group, and also avoid running roots for daily tasks, please. For more help, you can always check the kalilinux.org and also some forums to keep you updated. So drop a comment if you are stuck, and I'll do my possible best to answer you. And that is it, cyber guys. We just harden your Kali Linux system with secure credentials, a non-root user, and also a firewall, and then updates. Now you can pen test with peace of mind, knowing that some of the easiest of patches has been made. If this tutorial kept your system safe, smash that like button and subscribe to Ultra Blue Tech for more tech tutorials. Drop a comment with what you want us to do next. Maybe more Kali Linux tips, maybe more hacking tutorials, or something else. Let us out, and I'll see you in the next one.